Okay, now my first coat has dried. I'm going to load my brush again, the same brush. I'm going to pounce a little bit of that off so I don't have a lot. And take my baby here, and I'm going to add one more coat of mottling all over the skin. I'm just kind of gently putting it all over it. It doesn't have to be completely covered, but it should be even. I'm not sure if you can see him or not, but you can see he's got some spots on his head there. And that looks pretty good for now because we'll be adding other stuff later. Take this foot here. This you can barely see the first layer of mottling. You can just barely see. So I still have enough paint on my brush or my sponge. I'm going to add another layer on this foot. And we're going to continue to do that for all the pieces, and then we're going to let it dry, and then we will bake this layer. Okay, now we're going to jump on to the mottling step. We are going to start with a half a teaspoon of our thinner. Measure that there. We're going to use the crimson color and the purple. We are going to put one brush of each in there. And what we're going to do, I've taken a clean brush, we are just going to lay our brush on our paint until it's covered. It's not a lot. I'm just going to dab that onto the side of my dish here a minute. Like that. Get my brush cleaned off as well as possible here. Then I'm going to go into my crimson, and it's kind of wet, sticky, so I'm not going to press my brush in quite as much. I'm not quite getting it covered all the way. We want a nice rosy red color. Now we're going to mix these two together with our half a teaspoon of thinner. See what we get here. We've gotten a nice rosy color. I don't know if it's coming across or not. It's really a nice little rose-colored pink color. Then we're going to, we've made our mottling sponges. I've made 3 different ones. I've taken a clean cosmetic sponge, and I have taken my tweezers and picked out various parts of my sponge. So each one of them is going to be different because we're going to have 3 layers of mottling. We're going to start with this pink, this red one here, and I've kind of moistened it a little bit with some thinner so that it is wet. I'm going to take my brush, I'm going to wipe it across my model sponge, and then I'm going to dab it on my paper towel here to get some of it off, and then I'm just going to take this and completely cover my vinyl. You're not going to see a whole lot of color. This is just the first time around. First layer. You will just see some little marks, and somehow I've got little red marks on my head. I think I had a little bit too much paint on one part of my brush, but we'll see if it'll work. I can still wipe it off and start over if I don't like it. So we're going to set him over here to dry. I'm going to reload my, make sure my paint is completely mixed up. I think maybe it might not have been then. I'm going to load my brush again. I'm going to dab it on my paper towel to get some of the wetness off of it. I don't want a whole lot. Then I'm going to pounce all over my vinyl. I'm trying not to go over it after I've done it one time, one hit. I try to pick a different spot, but I try to get it all covered. You can barely see any color change in your vinyl, but that's okay for right now. We're going to go ahead and do each of this, and we're going to let it dry completely, and then we're going to do it again. So I'm going to turn off now and wait until I get the pieces done, and then I'll do the second.